Hey everyone, I just want to say thank you for everyone's support in helping me reach 1,000 subscribers on this channel. And I decided to do a Q&A for this particular special. So I requested that people submit their questions to me on YouTube, Twitter, and Discord. So I'm going to go ahead and answer those questions for you now. So we're going to start off with questions which were submitted on YouTube. One thing I will note is I'm not going to read out the names of the people who submitted comments because if I happen to mispronounce any of your names, I'm going to sound like an idiot, and I'd rather not do that. So I will post a screenshot though, so you can actually see who submitted the questions. Anyway, so we're going to start off with number one. Which three things do you like about your personality? Well, I would say the first being my sense of humor, because I'm hilarious. The second being my positivity, which is something I don't think I've always had, but I've kind of realized that life is short and there's no point being negative. So I try to live each day now as positive as I can be so that I don't end up bringing myself down or the people around me. So yeah. And I think the third being I consider myself to be fairly easygoing. I don't really like a lot of conflict in my life. I prefer to live as relaxed as possible and really just take it easy and not have to worry about a lot other than just making sure I have a roof over my head. So, yeah, I don't know. That's basically it for that one. Let's see. Number two, what's a song that you can't get out of your head at the moment? Um, I don't really have a song stuck in my head. I usually have background noise running at all times in my house, so it doesn't really give me the opportunity to think about random songs stuck in my head. So, yeah. Number three, favorite snacks. I do like a lot of like vegetarian and vegan snacks. So I've got things that I have every day, like kale chips. Let's see, I have rice cookies. I think I've got some like barbecue flavored roasted lentils, seaweed snacks, stuff like that. Yeah, just to kind of keep me going whenever I need a little bit of food and I don't want to actually eat like a full meal. So, yeah. Number four, what do you usually have for breakfast? Well, the way I eat is very weird, so you're all going to think I'm crazy, but I don't eat breakfast food for breakfast. What I do like doing is kind of loading up on protein, which typically means I might be eating chicken or fish first thing in the morning. So, yeah, I do have eggs and stuff like that I do eat, but that actually tends to be my dinner type food. So I eat that later in the day. I don't find there's any problem for me with what I eat in the morning. You might think it's weird that I eat meat for breakfast like that, but it really doesn't matter to me. So, yeah. Okay, number five, dog or cat person or both? Well, I like all animals, but cats, I don't know. I'm not really a cat person at all. So for this question, I'm definitely a dog person. I don't necessarily hate cats, but I don't know. I don't really enjoy them as pets all that much myself. So, yeah. Number six, have you ever had any embarrassing moments while recording an audio? There's two that come to mind, one of which is I fell asleep while recording an audio where I was pretending to be asleep. And I didn't actually realize that until I was editing the audio, and suddenly I was listening to myself snoring. So that kind of caught me off guard. But I thought it was funny, but I edited that out of the original audio. But after I think I made a comment somewhere that I had a recording of snoring, and some people requested it. So I think it was the 500 subscriber special. I included the snoring sounds. So yeah. The second part of that being, I think the microphone I used picked up some of my stomach gurgling in at least one of the audios. And I think someone did notice it. And I kind of knew it was happening, but I wasn't able to remove it in editing. So yeah, that's just a thing that happens. And I don't know, it's not really embarrassing, but having my stomach sounds in the final audio is kind of strange. So anyway, moving on. Number 7. If you could live anywhere, where would it be? Well, I currently live in Canada, and honestly, I think this country provides me with everything I could possibly want. There's definitely places in the world I would like to travel to. I would like to see more of the United States. I would like to potentially do some more traveling in, let's say, for example, the Europe area. And maybe visit like Australia. I've never been there. So definitely places I'd like to see, but I don't imagine myself actually living in those areas. I think Canada is probably the best bet for me. So yeah. And the last question here from this batch, what's something someone has once told you that still remains with you to this day? There's one thing in particular which actually kind of lines up with what I'm doing here, and that's that one of my teachers in high school made a comment that I had a very impressive sounding voice, and it's the kind of thing I could be using to, be on the radio or something like that. And I don't think I had really thought about it before that, and even for the longest time after that, I don't think I ever considered doing anything related to my voice, but that is a comment that still stuck with me, and I was thinking about that as well when I decided to open up this YouTube channel. So it's been a long time since that comment was made to me, but yes, I still remember it, so yeah. And moving on to the second question posted on YouTube. And this is one question. Do you know the Muffin Man? No, I'm sorry. I don't know the Muffin Man. Okay, so now we're moving on to questions submitted on Twitter. And the first one is, what's your favorite season? I would probably say either spring or fall. I don't necessarily have a favorite. I do enjoy being in the outdoors and like going up into the mountains and doing hiking, stuff like that. Where I live, the summer gets extremely hot, and the winter means freezing temperatures and snow and ice and everything. So I kind of like a mix between those, and yeah, we unfortunately don't have a whole lot of like spring or fall. It only seems to last a couple weeks until the temperature completely changes, but I kind of forgot where I was going to go with this originally, but you know what? I might just say that summer is potentially my favorite season, even though there's a lot of downsides in the climate I live in, so yeah. Next question here, opinions on croissants. They are very tasty. One thing I do actually enjoy buying from the local grocery store is a breakfast croissant. So it's a croissant that's stuffed with some egg, lettuce, I think maybe some ham and cheese as well, and those are very tasty. Croissants on their own I do also enjoy, but I don't make an effort to really go buy them. But that is my opinion on croissants. Next question here, what got you into ASMR? Now, I'm going to answer this particular question as someone who's like a viewer of ASMR, because there's another question later on that I'll cover about how I got into recording. So for this particular question, what got you into ASMR? I was at work, and I think I was overhearing a coworker talk about ASMR, and just on a hunch, I Googled it because I had no idea what it meant. And when I looked at the Wikipedia page, it was describing the exact things that would happen to me that I thought was just normal. So, for example, when I would get when I'd go and get a haircut, I'd get that tingle feeling in like the back of my neck or up my spine or whatever. And like I thought that was just normal for anyone who goes and gets a haircut. Well, no, turns out that's the feeling of ASMR, and I had no idea that was actually a thing until I decided to look up these ASMR videos, and I got into the whole thing on YouTube, and yeah, I found the kinds of videos that I like watching, and the kinds of stuff that give me the ASMR tingles and stuff like that. So yeah, it was just pure chance that I got into ASMR, because I would have not known about it if I didn't overhear my coworker mention it. So yeah. Next question here. If you could instantly become fluent in any language, which one would you pick? Uh, the logical choice for me would probably be French, because that's the second language in my country. I do also like Italian for no particular reason, but I mean, I don't consider both of those offering anything really to me that I would require. So if I could just randomly become fluent in a language for fun, I might say Latin, because I think that would be hilarious to be fluent in Latin. I'd be able to have conversations with nobody, but I could say a bunch of things and nobody would know what I'm talking about. And I think that would be funny. So honestly, though, I think Latin would be interesting to know just from a historical standpoint. And I think this is the last question from Twitter, and that's, what's your favorite food? I would have to say sushi. I don't eat it very often, like from restaurants. I do buy a lot of sushi when I'm at the grocery store. It's just cheap stuff, but I think that's probably one of the things I look forward to when I go and do my groceries on a weekly basis. Given the chance, I would definitely go and find a decent restaurant in town and completely overdose on sushi. But I know that if I walk into a sushi restaurant, I'm not going to stop eating until I've probably spent like $50 worth. So yeah, I try to avoid it, but it is probably my favorite food. And now we're going to move on to some questions submitted on my Discord server. And the first being, is mayonnaise an instrument? Yes. And next question, what's the mind of a Canadian like? Drunk on maple syrup. Okay, next question here, what made you get into making audios? I was looking for a change in my life, and I needed to do something that was, I don't know, I needed a new hobby kind of thing, something that I could really get into. And I thought the best thing to do would be a project involving my voice, because it was something that I think was an unused talent, something that I probably should have been doing a while back, but I never got around to doing anything voice related. So I had a couple of options. My first idea was becoming a rapper. And the second idea was doing ASMR roleplays. Now, I think my original idea of becoming a rapper was only an idea because I listened to a lot of independent hip hop right when I was having this thought in my mind. Um, I'm glad I didn't try to pursue that, because that would have been hilariously stupid. But yes, I obviously went with making ASMR roleplays as something that would use my vocal talents, or if I have vocal talents, I suppose I do. I don't know. Yeah, anyway. Okay, if trees are purple, what is pink? Well, trees are blue. How many ounces are in a bottle? I have no idea because I'm Canadian. Why is living expensive? Well, I live in one of the most expensive cities in my country, and I can tell you that it sucks, but I don't know why it's expensive. That might be a question for someone who knows anything about money or housing or anything like that. So, all I know how to do is just sit around and not have money. So, yeah. Next question here. What's your setup like for your audios? So I have a 2015 MacBook Pro that I use for all of my audio and video work for this channel. It's, I mean, obviously it's an older laptop, but it is able to actually handle the work with no problem. For recording, I do use the Blue Yeti microphone, and I also recently picked up a Tascam portable recorder, which I intended to use to record my own sound effects for things. Maybe things not necessarily in my house. Like I kind of wanted to go out and like record nature sounds and stuff like that, or just any sort of sound effect I needed for like this project or other types of audio projects. But I also wanted to use a portable recorder for trying to get more sleep sounds. When I recorded that audio where I fell asleep, I was actually sleeping with my laptop on top of me, and if I had rolled over, I probably would have broken the laptop. So I wanted a way to record things when I'm lying in bed to get that like sleepy voice, but I wanted to do it with a portable recorder and not have to have my laptop in bed with me. So that's why I bought that. So yeah. And second question there, what's your favorite photo you ever took? This is it's a hard one for me, but this particular photo I'm going to put on the screen here. This kind of happened by pure chance. I was walking and I was coming back from a spot I was taking a bunch of photos in, and none of those photos ever like they never went anywhere. They were just bad photos, to be honest. But I was walking back to my car in the middle of this provincial park, and there was this nice evening light, and I just happened to see this bee flying around and landing on these flowers. So the way the light just hit the scene, and I realized this could make for a pretty good photo, so I quickly grabbed my camera out of my bag, and I started trying to follow this bee around. He was really moving quickly, so I had to end up taking a lot of pictures to try and get what I was looking for. But this particular photo, I think, is probably one of the better ones I've taken. So I think for now, I'm going to call this one my favorite. So yeah. Next question. How would you feel if your hoodies were taken? So at the time I'm recording this, the video I made right before this was the stolen hoodie roleplay. And I suppose I should be honest with this one. I don't wear hoodies. I do own one hoodie, and I only own it because it was a corporate gift from the company I work for. Otherwise, there's no reason I would have ever went out and bought a hoodie. So I wouldn't feel bad if someone took this hoodie, but I'd probably prefer that not be the case. So yeah. And the final question here, why am I awake? I don't know. Go to sleep. That's all I can say about that. Anyway, I just want to say thank you again to all of my subscribers, or if you're just here to view my videos, that's fine too. Yeah, it's been an interesting journey here so far, and I look forward to seeing what the future brings. So, thank you again.